Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, where you are. Welcome on in. It is the Moneynista, tax strategist, business owner, real estate investor, 20 years in audit, accounting, and tax, 13 in the large business and international division of the IRS. So let's talk about the Fair Tax Act. So we know that there's a group of Republicans that are pushing to eliminate federal taxes and replace them with a federal sales tax, which kind of shifts the responsibility to each state to collect the national sales tax for the Treasury. And what ultimately this would do is, force Americans to pay closer to about 30% on sales tax, which for everyday purchases is a lot, right? This is what we call a regressive tax system. I know a lot of people are like, yes, abolish the IRS, get rid of them, no taxes, but it doesn't necessarily translate to no taxes. It just translates to a shift in taxes, right? So a little less control in one way and a little more control in another, right? Because you do have to spend, right? You have to spend on everyday purchases. You need groceries, you need gas, things of that nature. And these items, they will go up to account for no federal income tax. And then the states would remit the funds to, the federal agency, the federal treasury. So I don't know if this is ever going to pass. I'm pretty sure it's not. A lot of people would like to see the IRS abolished. I am a former IRS revenue agent. I will tell you in my experience, business owners, right? I worked in large business and international business owners. They pay little to no tax in comparison. And this is not news, right? If you look on the IRS website, it's published, right? The IRS SOI data book, the most taxes paid by individuals, estates, and trusts. The least amount of taxes are paid by businesses, right? Because the tax code incentivizes business ownership and investment activities such as real estate, right? Basically, the model for favoritism in the Internal Revenue Code is income minus expenses equals profit, right? The punishment for in the Internal Revenue Code is your ordinary income, which is income, tax, and then you get to pay your expenses. There's no relief, right? That's just the formula. And if you don't believe me, pull up your 1040 tax return, your individual tax return, and then pull up an 1120S or 1120C or 1065. That's your partnerships, and see the difference, right? Even if you look on your Schedule C, it's your income. If you're a sole proprietor or single member LLC, it's your income, then your expenses, and then you pay tax on what's left over, right? That's how the tax code works. And so, a regressive tax system is debatable and who it affects, right? I can always say that the average individual can cut their spending, but let's be real, there are households that have needs that would just kill them, right? The amount that they would pay in their everyday purchases would be far greater than the tax that comes out of their check during the year, right? Because they still get the federal standard deduction. Some get itemized deductions. They get child tax credit. They, get dependents credit for their dependents and things of that nature. So I don't know if this is necessarily the best, the answer. I certainly don't want to pay 30% more for a gallon of milk or, gas. We see what happens when things like gas prices go up, right? It really impacts people. So, feel free to read up on it yourself. I don't think it is the answer to most people's financial problems. I think the answer is going into business for yourself. For those of you who are not interested, there's no shame. You're not interested in going into business, being a real estate investor. There's no shame. Just understand where you stand in the tax code and what your finances will be, right? You will forever be the stepchild of the tax code, right? The redheaded stepchild. So for those of you thinking of starting your business, go right ahead, right? You're either going to cut the check to yourself and your business activity, or you're going to cut the check to Uncle Sam. I doubt this bill will pass. I think the last time it was introduced was 1999. I don't see it happening, particularly when the IRS was receiving, for the Inflation Reduction Act, I believe it is, was receiving funding for hiring, 87,000 agents. It's not likely to happen. Okay. taxes are a thing. They will remain a thing. And the day the IRS is abolished is probably the day that our government falls. I'm not saying I'm for the IRS. I'm just saying I believe in cause and effect. Before I say I don't want something, I ask, what is the effect? How is it going to impact? I want to know the end result, right? I want to know the consequences first. That's just how I am. I'm transactional. I want to know what is the effect, right? Do I want to pay 30% sales tax? That means on luxury goods, right? Think about your large purchases, your cars, right? Things of that nature, clothes, groceries. This could be disastrous, particularly for middle income America and lower income America. All right. So talk to me, drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think.